Mr. Lynch, lives or will be live forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or 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 simply, David. Yesterday, un'altra video, Lynch. It's March 26th, so really only 5 days to the end of this March 26, 2026. It's Tuesday in Naples. Today middle sky, so for me, middles. An adjective multiplied the equivalent of variable means clear sunny day alternative to cloudy, so very cloudy days characterized in general. If in this moment it's mostly cloudy, but important thing that today is also this since the last evening is a really strong wind. Yes, incredible this wind, and really this wind. One of the heaviest one I have seen here this last year, so and it's early afternoon area 13 and 10 minutes 51 and 8 Fahrenheit 11 Celsius. It means that it's really soft like Mississippi. Yes, it's soft because of physical schedules for the spring period support for the second. The effect is shown as for June 17. The effect we are for the reports in fact as regard last pass summer and also the last pass autumn, last pass winter, particular winter entered in it on December 21, in particular on 16th and 14th PM in Italy. Now also for the spring we welcome them and for the rest of the reports. And to be precise, on last March 20th, idiot to be precise on 10:01 AM in Italy, whereas absolutely non think poi sono un po' di suppose di I'm sure that was the remaining so it seems sense ma purpose effectively ocean to change the better perhaps fare l'oxydato for me e due studenti lavoro sceso per summer di autumn di winter senza fare for summer su agenti hot for autumn once again agenti soft for the winter agenti cold sono stati in generale for the season so dire già classica agenti a segretario di lisa for me was something significant absolutely complete no because consider the video it's speaking so at least I can complain that I consider that yes, even if it's been last day, so it's still cold in particular, as soon as the last 2-3 days, today in particular, for the fact so I see that it's still cold, yes, in fact, but I don't feel cold, as you know, perhaps also for the things I always see during the winter period, for all the years, not only this year. For the two practices I do to fare some years I always do to which in fact I always start to fare cold. And so for this I see that people I think they feel cold, but I think of yes fact I think no, this depends on them I think like that if I feel cold, or in general for me this period good. And if I read this still cold, instead about the status of way I don't know if I get this just for it's good at totally if I can be some things this. L'ingredient after 5 temperatures considerably a bit excessive for 51 Fahrenheit 11 Celsius at reporting atmosphere TGPD. Se photo of this. Se cortine sono se cortingese, quindi senza ci sono strefca, che si suppose fa così tanti servizi si sky and bit middle si sun alternate to the clouds and north vice so according considering the last day except from yesterday we had this beautiful sky shine until the end almost until the end of the day come consider con i voti di fortuna consider sensation setting that possible that in realtà it's a really life to might begin I think totally cloudy I think and also that my train flight a few months back from a little very close see what happens but as always and bisogna tenere mantenere su video si può si inizia che si come schedule America so well, bad, perhaps better city contract, bad, well, one of them, well or bad, well, perhaps also bad, maximum total second, general, bad, well, I think it's so series of working class long class mix into the blood scene working sense sono one longer things sono borsi che bevo particolare terberti but sulle for do sono it was the best curtain was a beautiful grey curtain the beautiful painted branches but people the past fact from best curtain in the things say meant to read in my comments section is reported that the first one perhaps for two and one of them is read comment section no if you can see on test we have the shot near me from one end of one side of yes. See, green flowers between the plants. I don't know. In fact, if you're not even better, you'll better not shut the bags first part of the video, which will show you that what has got the same job as casting to win a Casimodiorum. Was a sapson, yes, also let me go win a room. Or from a bird perspective, also from Israel, perché shot similar, perché shot film intensive for the private scrutiny, yes, repeat beautiful scrutiny, beautiful pentaple, so yes, really should have been November 162, but if not original Montesco, and perhaps also for the first scrutiny, nostro reports, routine, and if entry max activity, sure, the routine is still in government mention, one day, so damage legit, I was saying this shot is really effect, but when is increase, also when is, but when is self is measure. Now I'll see read a little speech of sentence for the scrutiny, repeat beautiful beautiful pentaple. Perhaps singing for the system storyboards, correcting if singing and to make success, and now singing as you date for this new routine, so I might repeat expression singing 45 times. And so when it's little speech of sentences, but also always better visible for me in its entity, in this shot, secondo mythic or legendary shot. Regarding the issue, the activism basic activism is ottobre mesi portatori in parte sia tutto mesi attivism la si rende vita speech senza che si vuole riportare un spirito sessuale lo spirito servite one thing but also always better visible for me its entity in its shot si pensi mica già shot. And finally from Magical Keyboard Magic 64 PG 625 also because mica già shot. Questo è un shot fa che finalmente non c'è di forte, cioè se il magazzino posso borsi manco lonto itet o le creati il genere sheriff, cioè che sheriff department o su una base manco lonto con rituma one and cosa sono di one sì magari si riesce questo quello da pizza e per una track di green cioè se intruma su di che tu mi stringi elementi itet berti e adesso mi stringi itet riesce si vede che guarda c'è una full interpretation. So when this shot is really the new shot to which you can see the activation the game but active conditions as I said but the full fact di pratica this is the main perfect transition in display usando il tipo di better il main perfect transition in display and one day after the fix it questi people for John the Pots simply che due sul sistema su myself also skills and finally I hope you will get back to play state in general also master president my first semester mi ripete la stessa cosa tu infatti non tocco per stare state in general it's late in general and all state in general and for the people both for Mario but not for Mario so smart canto ormai serve spetting interference between the semagione lessons ferme lesson Simons e preparative lessons significantly once again next semagione sembra state but in parts of ferry with the direction sembra to questo back sentence met straight at fentermet in will fenter parts met it was as so che trego sei uso metti strategy ripeto vedo la close di carriera tutto su ma si mi danno non è successo just stroll just in quella pertinente io But the important thing which is remedy at some also the important to some namely young and as we always say breakfast most music that for absolutely and as you know since starting I think was the 1 year actually more 1 year and this also continuing effect of the days on Friday by me and speak about the breakfast also days on Friday this continuing to 6 days the beautiful blue dark blue and white this for the customers also for supplemented net basic is light blue for other aspects also the first one is also reports as regarding the time if you're using it in week 16 for 16 15 Friday go guys this should be 16 Friday go or it should be 16 Friday go all things are perhaps if you're following sites of reports particularly I think no one because no one nobody because no one or any other videos or whatever so that this should be a review but to get one day quanta persone ci penso che tu dici speech should be released on Friday and for the show specifically with you got to talk about money and some for the service so my fact them many people comes be considered think at one minutes from the second chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chip chocolate chips and in front of the so have to be Mr. Lynch in particular to read this is something but make fact two shots no like two shots no like films so the chocolate fact sta fresh veramente video so short I mean I think last 9 months so che lo sconto should be instant beer so net chip so better so money is quick finish now so once people to think 10 8 9 years so che is pratica sarà result for something this is the month for should be very bit should be the month so che lo sconto should be instant beer so net chip so better and so it's the month the 3 pattern certo detto once again milk so news un'easy effect breakfast sempre si partiva me ma si che si a stabilire gioco su but organizzo un po' questo mi film first time so that video in fact sappiamo che si tolli in breakfast questo è mega baba se non ti che si sa in farà più stesso la cosa di dare anzi grazie fa sempre per position proprio se può riparare per position ma già segue per position because altri si per position mi dà proprio una sciocca spesa la cosa dove me ne dico because è really super baba. Sì, tomorrow si può fare non tomorrow ti lepe ma sì and I hope at least a little ray of sunshine you can see another in me will be singing for tomorrow that we have those are day windows beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way everyone have a great day this is the end parts of Mr. Lynch's son general the sun whatever also in general as regard the end this is what is with some with this little ray of sun I hope that today will have if not for those people because of the channel most of the most clear day and so yes so ma sì che formalmente fazzi che sì tomorrow si può fare perché non si può fare no sì and also che sì because in the this thing is now is anyway the reports third thing is second thing is the thing is the first part we should do for the start the sky si possono abusare le acquisizioni so che sì also petit was for tomorrow I hope we see